Good evening and welcome to the briefing room. I'm Madhavdas G. The Diljit Dosanjh starrer Satluj has been taken down from OTT platform Z5 just 2 days after it premiered for the first time. The film premiered on Z5 on July 3rd without any reported cuts or modifications. But within 48 hours, it was quietly taken down across India. And today, many are questioning the decision behind the removal of the film from OTT. So why was the film taken down? And what's the official reason given? Well, at the moment, before we get into why it was taken down, let's first try and tell you what the film is all about. The film essentially talks about a very, very important period in the 90s. It talks about the life of Jaswant Singh Khalra. It was originally titled Punjab 95 as well. And what really are we talking about? It's set in 1990s Punjab. It's talking about the alleged disappearances at that point of time, the secret cremations that took place, and Khalra's investigation into the various deaths. Khalra's abduction and murder is also portrayed in this entire film, and therefore, of course, extremely controversial because of the method in which the authorities are believed to have dealt with the situation that existed on ground. This clearly is what has happened. The film Satluj was released on the 3rd of July. However, just days later, from this OTT platform, the film was taken down and is now unavailable across India until further notice. While the OTT platform says that it has cited current developments but has stopped short of stating what the actual reason for the move is, it, however, has gone on to say that it stands by the movie, but the film remains unavailable on their platform for now. Now, why exactly has the film been removed? There's no official ban that's been announced yet, nor is there a court order enforcing the same. So the real reason for the removal of Diljit's film still remains unclear. However, this is why many are asking why was the movie taken down without any official reasoning. For the moment, Diljit Dosanjh does not appear to be too perturbed. In fact, he says that he had expected that the movie would be taken down, but he's pleased that the message of the film has reached across to the people.
ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਸੰਡੇ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਸੀ, ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਯੈਸ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮੰਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਫ਼ਤਰ ਖੁੱਲਣਗੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਫਿਲਮ ਬੈਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਊਗੀ, ਪਰ ਸੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜੂਗੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਡੇ 1 ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ, ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਦੱਸੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ। ਜੇ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ 2 ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਲੱਗਣੀ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ।
Now, here's why the movie could have possibly been taken down. Now, what top government sources are telling Times now is that the movie creates national security concerns. They fear that this film could help revive a pro-Khalistani narrative and may provide a handle for separatists to exploit the movie and its messaging for anti-national agenda. Government sources further indicate that the decision is not a political one, but one taken keeping national security in mind. However, there are many prominent faces who've come out today to question the decision of really removing the film from an OTT platform. Now, this includes Diljit Dosanjh himself. Here's what we're talking about. Diljit Dosanjh has come out to say you can't stop the film. He's further, of course, adding that no one can bury Khalra Sahab's voice, is what Diljit has said. Further, we've seen Varun Grover, who's a writer and a comic, who's come out to say that our censor board is far more cowardly and shameless than we think. That's a response coming in. There's also, of course, a response from Ranveer Shorey saying that he's utterly disappointed. Ranveer Shorey, of course, is a noted actor. It's perhaps no wonder then that the opposition is also questioning the decision. TMC leader Saket Gokhale has accused the government of suppressing uncomfortable truths. Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal has also condemned the film's removal. And even former India cricketer and BJP MP Harbhajan Singh has praised Satluj as a courageous film and a story that deserves to be told.
कश्मीर फाइल, केरला फाइल, फलाना फाइल, डिगाना फाइल, जिसके अंदर नफरत मुसलमान के खिलाफ भरी हुई, वो सब दिखाएंगे। ये उसकी दोसांझ की क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे भाई? वो क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे हो? ये देश के अंदर जो माहौल इन्होंने कर दिया है, अब लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। हम तो बोल रहे हैं, हम तो लड़ रहे हैं, लेकिन लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। इन्होंने इलेक्शन कमीशन बंधक बना लिया, इन्होंने सारी की सारी संस्थाओं को बंधक बना लिया। सबकी निगाहें सुप्रीम कोर्ट पर है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट संविधान का संरक्षक है।
जिथे मैं इस गल का सख्त विरोध करता वां, मैं मनुखी अधिकारां दे हक विच खड़ा वां और मैं अपील करता वां इस देश की सरकार नूं, इस देश की सर्वोच्च न्यायपालिका नूं कि सतलुज फिल्म जो कि बड़ी मेहनत दे नाल दिलजीत दोसांझ जो कि साडे एक पंजाब दा एक प्रसिद्ध कलाकार है, विश्व प्रसिद्ध कलाकार है, और मैं हैरान है कि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार चुप बैठी है। कि तुसी बीजेपी तो केंद्र की सरकार तो डरते हो? गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ना लेके और इस फिल्म नू दोबारा Z5 प्लेटफॉर्म पे रिस्टोर करावे।
Now, this is a story that deserves to be told. That's what critics are saying today. But let's also tell you why the story behind the film Satluj matters. For that, you need to know about Jaswant Singh Khalra, the man who's the focal point of the Diljit Dosanjh starrer himself. He's a banker turned human rights activist. He exposed cases of extrajudicial killings, particularly in Punjab. His research cited 25,000 illegal killings in the state. He drew global attention to his findings, and in 1995, Khalra was kidnapped and killed. There were 4 cops who were sentenced to life for his murder. And that's why even some BJP leaders do admit that these are stories that need to be told. But today, many are also asking, is this a display of selective freedom of speech? Let's tell you what many are talking about, particularly in terms of the contentious films that have received the green light in the past, and some others that did not make it to the silver screen. What are we talking about? One is a Kashmir Files movie in 2022. This is, of course, a film that was released. There's also, of course, the question of the Kerala story in 2023. This was also a film that was released. Emergency 2025 was another film that was released. And the Bengal Files 2025 also is a film that has been released. India, the Modi Question, a BBC documentary, was, of course, held back. It was blocked. India's Daughter BBC documentary in 2015 was also banned. And the Battle of Banaras documentary in 2015 was not given a release certificate. Now, we're talking about Punjab 95 and Satluj, which is a direct OTT feature in 2026, which has been blocked as well. Let's quickly open this up and take it across to our guest now joining us. With us is Advocate Vineet Jindal, complainant against Diljit Dosanjh and social activist. Also with us on the show is Madhavdas Singh Khalra, who's the Senior Vice President of the Akali Dal. We have Nikhil Jain, political analyst, also joining us. Mr. Khalra, let me start with you. One of the accusations, or at least what government sources are indicating, is that they believe this is a film that could once again give rise to the Khalistani sentiment and give rise to that narrative. Do you agree with that criticism of this film?
Certainly not. It's a false propaganda just to defame the Sikh community, nothing else. Madhav, when we started Morcha in 1982 asking for our rights, and we were termed as a terrorist and Khalistani, and attack was done on the Harmandir Sahib and Shri Akal Takht Sahib. This is very unfortunate when the truth is being spread and the sufferings made, their Punjabis were made to suffer under the state repression. When that fact brought to the light by Mr. Dosanjh, again we are now termed that it will affect the peace. I am sorry to say, if the government of the state or the center is so fragile that this movie can destabilize the government, I'm ashamed of my democracy, that how weak we are. I just want to ask one thing to all the Indians and the Punjabis. If there is any content which is not fact, bring it out. We will say delete it. But when it shows the facts, what happened?
Okay.
You must be aware, Mr. Madhav, that...
okay, let's get the counter view. Let's get the counter view. You made, I think, 3 or 4 very important points, sir. Let's go one by one, because otherwise the debate will go all over the place. Let me get in Vineet Jindal, who's, of course, the complainant against Diljit Dosanjh. At the end of the day, Vineet Jindal, there's no formal ban from what we understand. Why not allow for facts to come out? You can counter facts with facts. But banning a film, look what's happened. Number of people have downloaded it from social media, and, in fact, the producers and the makers of film have said they're okay with that. Hasn't that ended up giving the film a lot more publicity?
Look, Madhav, we have to look after, no, it is not only about the release on OTT. We have to go back 4 years back when this movie was produced before, put before the censor board for film certification, and the director, when the film certification has not been given, and they had asked for 127 cuts, this director has approached the Bombay High Court, and that petition has been withdrawn by him without giving any specific reason. So why? When this director and the actors, everybody knows about that there is something which is already been objection by the government and the appropriate authority, which is censor board, and again after 3 years of silently they have released this movie on OTT platform. And look at, I have seen that movie, I think 4 or 3 parts of that movie in which the assassination of sitting CM of Jaswant Singh had been glorified. How can you justify this? This is no comparison with Kashmir Files and Bengal Files and any other movie. They are propagating something. They are propagating an ideology. And I am telling you, this is very dangerous. Whosoever supporting this movie, this is really dangerous. I am telling you, this is the time where the Khalistani propaganda has been propagating by this movie.
Let me put that point across.
Activities has been
the assassination of former Chief Minister Jaswant Singh is being glorified, Nikhil Jain. As somebody who supports the Congress party, is that something that you're willing to tolerate?
Madhav, I will not want to tolerate or support the assassination of any political leader, be it from the Congress or any other party, but that does not mean that my government stops blocking every movie that shows the assassination of a political leader. And let's not forget that this is a dispensation which very well turns a blind eye when you talk about the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. I'm sure they don't have any particular love for Mr. Jaswant Singh or the assassination that happened. It's really bizarre to me that they are trying to block a movie. And if we are going to be that fickle-minded about things, and as one of the previous speakers, Mr. Garewal, has already pointed out, that the Indian state, the Indian government is not so fragile. A movie is not going to disintegrate this country. For heaven's sake, the government needs to stop, hiding behind this veil of national security, this, that. Every time a Kashmir Files or a Dhurandhar or a Kerala story or a this story or a that story that fits into the narrative of the government comes out, then they don't feel that this is something that can inflame communal passions. This is something that can endanger national security. But the moment they find something that is perhaps not fitting very well in their own narrative, then they have a problem. And might I also point out, Mr. Jaswant Singh's grandson, Ravneet Singh Bittu, who is in the BJP right now, is actually on record.
Why do you say that this does not fit into the government's narrative? There was no BJP government that's being depicted in this, is there?
That is also why, honestly, it's very bizarre to me. It's very bizarre to me that why do you have to stop a movie that is not even hurting you politically? Or do you just want that every piece of cinema
why were you saying that the narrative, why are you saying it's hurting a narrative?
Has to fit to a certain narrative. I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Why did you then say that it hurts the government's narrative?
Madhav, no, that is for the government to answer, and it's very weird, Madhav, that your channel and your show is one of the most watched shows in this country. The BJP regularly sends spokespersons on this show, but today I don't see anybody from the BJP. That is the problem with the BJP.
No, Nikhil, don't shift the goalpost. Even Congress is not present on the show currently. That's why you're participating in this debate. But what is the narrative? What is the narrative and the purpose of this, according to you?
I would have to watch the movie to know that. Sadly, there is no legal way that I can watch the movie. I really would want the BJP and the government to answer that. Why are they trying to block a piece of cinema? See, I may not agree with what they show in the movie. And you know that I am somebody who supports the Congress, and probably the movie shows the Congress government in a bad light. Yet I'm batting for the right of the movie to be released, because we can't be so sissy about, launching things that don't fit with our
Vineet
story.
Jindal, let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask Vineet Jindal a question. There are several prominent BJP leaders. You must have heard one or two at the beginning of this debate. There's also BJP's Rajya Sabha MP Vikramjit Singh Sani, who supported the film. Harbhajan Singh has called it a must-watch film. You heard what Mr. R.P. Singh says about the context of the film. If this is indeed, something that is so anti-national, it's a very sensitive point, because at the end of the day, speaking up for human rights is something that is very much legal and very much mandated within the country. Should we automatically assume that every human rights campaigner is an anti-national?
No, Madhav, this is different thing. Look, there are two aspects in this movie. One is what Mr. Khalra has been done, their investigations and their reports. That is something different. But the way the act of the terrorist or pro-Khalistani has been put forward in this movie, that is very objectionable. I must tell you, this is not about BJP, Congress or any other party. It is about the nation. And whosoever supporting this movie at this point of time, I must say, if a person sitting here cannot say that assassination of a sitting CM of our country has been wrong and a terrorist activity, then definitely this is a very shameful for everyone if we are sitting in a democratic country. This is really shameful. How can you say a person who has been killed by the terrorists and you cannot even on a live TV, you cannot even say that this is wrong. What is happening with you, dear?
Let me put this question, in fact, to
This is
Mr.
not
Grewal.
only
Mr.
about
Grewal,
human rights.
one aspect of what he's saying is held out by the fact that you already have a former
Madhav, just for
Pakistan
the
minister,
record,
Fawad Chaudhry.
I never supported the assassination. Obviously, I'm condemning it.
Okay, now that we have that clarified, question for Mr. Grewal. I'm just reading out what Chaudhry Fawad Hussain has put on social media. He says, what's a larger conspiracy? Sikh massacre by Hindutva supporters, very well known which Pak film industry had people to make these kind of films. So has this inadvertently or advertently fed into a pro-Pakistan narrative? Because here you have Pakistan former ministers who are quoting this film and this controversy. Mr. Grewal.
Mr. Madhav, unfortunately, when Punjab in general and Sikhs in particular say something, either they are termed as terrorist or the anti-national. But the nation forgets that we are the worst sufferer of this division of this country, and we have laid thousands and hundreds of lives for protection of this country. And then some...
No question about that. No, Mr. Grewal, there's no question about that. Nobody is questioning the patriotism of Sikhs. That's not at all the intention of my question. It's a very simple question. I'm saying Pakistan has picked up this and is quoting it, a minister and a leader there. That is all I'm saying. No one is questioning your patriotism or of other leaders who are raising this from the opposition side. But has this inadvertently or advertently given an opportunity for these leaders to pick up this issue? It's a simple question.
We have nothing to do with what Pakistan minister says or their leader says. We are not concerned with that. Our only concern is that what happened was a fact, and fact has been brought to a light in a picture, and why it is being banned. Tomorrow they will say that massacre of Delhi should also not be filmized. I'm sorry to say that what is this going on? If we ask for Chandigarh for Punjab, we are anti-national. If we ask for waters, we are terrorists. I am sorry to say, Mr. Madhav, that out of the 2,600 people who were imprisoned in Andaman Nicobar, 2,163 were Punjabis.
Okay.
And out of 126 who were hanged, 91 were Punjabis and Sikhs. I'm sorry to say that every step we have to just prove our nationalism.
No, that's not correct. No, not at all. No, please don't go back to that. Mr. Grewal, nobody is questioning the nationalism of Sikhs or any person of any religion or any part of the country. That is, I don't think, a correct statement to make. But yes, there are some questions that emerge from this film. And let me take that question across to Shashank Jha. Shashank Jha, how long are we going to keep looking at uncomfortable, sensitive periods of history? Are we going to go on, looking at or banning films that are coming out of those periods? Number one. And number two, this is a film that has gone through over 4 years of struggle. So why could matters not be settled?
Namaste, Madhavji and my fellow panelists here. Madhavji, there are two aspects to this. One about the troubled history of our Indian country. So just 2 weeks back, there was a movie by the same actor Diljit Dosanjh, Main Wapas Aunga, based on bloody partition this country has faced in 1947. So it is not about, banning every kind of movie and everything. Now, this particular movie which we are talking about, censor board has specifically asked for 200 odd cuts. They did not comply with that. The initial name was something in Hindi, if we translate it was named as Massacre, which was fortunately changed. But, to take the shortcut, what they did is they could not release it in theaters. They did not challenge it before courts, but they took this shortcut and released it before OTT. And that happened just 5 months before the elections. So that is a very trouble aspect. And the third point is the Akali Dal spokesperson here, Mr. Grewal, he's very senior to me. What he's saying is that, you are labeling everyone as terrorist, or it is not like that. But we must also need to understand that how foreign powers are actually time and again trying to instigate the Khalistani angle. There is actually a member of parliament in Lok Sabha currently who is an open sympathizer of Khalistan. So we must not forget what happened with Sikhs and Punjab, and for that point India in general, when foreign powers including Pakistan has actually instigated people in the name of Khalistan. Also, we must not forget that Punjab is different from other states, because just last week we have seen how the entire cabinet was before the Akal Takht. So that does not happen in every state.
Okay,
Also,
let's leave the Akal Takht out of this. It's not directly related to this, but I will put the question to Nikhil Jain. Nikhil Jain, if over 200 cuts were put out, Nikhil Jain, if there were 200 cuts that were put out, why did the filmmakers not comply and release the film? Or they could have challenged it in a court of law. This is for the first time that we are seeing that the censor board says something, and then it's a shortcut that is being described over here by Shashank, a shortcut of releasing it on OTT.
No, Madhav, that's not a shortcut. That's simply a legal question, because so far as the Censor Board of India is concerned, that is governed by the Cinematograph Act 1952, which only applies to movies that will be showcased in theaters. It does not apply to anything that is launched on something like a YouTube or a Z5 or a Voot or any of the other OTT platforms, which is why what these people did was not illegal. They could not have put it in theaters. They did not, because the Censor Board hadn't cleared it, and hadn't cleared it for over 3 years.
Why
and again, Madhav, this becomes a very
then?
problematic pattern. That
Why is it off the OTT now then?
Former Army Chief's book. I'm sorry?
Why is it off the OTT platform now then? If it's legal,
because the government has directed Z5 to do that, and yes. Under the Information Technology Act, the government can direct intermediaries like OTTs and social media platforms to take down any content, and the way the rules have been structured, they are essentially hand-tied to just do as the government says, without any proper due process, without any principles of natural justice being followed. We have this statement from Z5, the OTT concerned, that we are standing with the film, but we have to comply with the orders of the government.
Shashank,
the CBFC certification is not for OTT, it is not for YouTube, so let's not get into that.
Okay,
and one very important point on the
Kashmir Files and Kerala Stories are two examples which were controversial. Matters has been taken to courts. Courts has given permission, and then only they were released. So if the producer or the actor has problems with the certification board, they could have challenged it. But what Diljit Dosanjh said today, he said that okay, now it has been released, you can download it from XYZ sources. So that shows that they have no regard for the law of the land. So that is why it is very important for us to understand that just before elections why this movie was released, because it has been pending since past 3 years. They could have went to court, they could have challenged that 227 cuts. They did not. What they did try is actually coming directly to the OTT, and while knowing the fact that elections are just past 6 months.
Oh, is also the timing of it just before the elections, Nikhil Jain? Yeah. All this is happening with the mind of the elections. The timing is questionable, says Shashank.
Madhav, you have a movie that has been stuck with the censor board for over 3 years. They choose to release the movie on an OTT platform which does not require a certification from the censor board about 9 months or 8 months before the elections, because so far as my memory serves me, the Punjab elections are in March next year. So that's about 7 to 8 months from now. You are saying that they just released it before the elections. Had they released it a year ago, you would have said that that is close to the Delhi elections. Had they released it a year before that, you would have said this is close to the Lok Sabha elections. Had they released it a year before, you would have said this is close to the UP elections. That cannot be the argument that a movie released 8 months before the elections has been released for keeping in mind the elections and this and that. And a very important point I wanted to make about Khalistan, you have Madhavdas Singh Khalra, who's a sitting minister of the Delhi government, who calls Bhindranwala Sant. You also have Ravneet Singh Bittu, who is a minister in the union government of the BJP, who calls Bhindranwala a sant. There are videos in public domain. You are free to play them for your viewers. So let's not have the BJP talk about somebody being a Khalistan sympathizer. 2 of the 3 senior most Sikh leaders that this party has, they are sympathizers of Bhindranwala. I don't have any qualms in saying Bhindranwala is a terrorist. I don't have any qualms in saying Ben Singh's assassination was wrong, illegal, and an act of terror. But I'm sure that these 2 gentlemen from the BJP will have very
quick response. Very strong
problem saying the same thing.
Madhav, this is very important aspect. First of all, what we are saying in law, the intention is very important. So what is the intention of the director and the actor in this movie when it has been released on OTT instead of cinema halls? When they have applied for the film certification to censor board, that they have not get that censor board certification, they approach the Bombay High Court and then they withdraw that petition, and still since last 3 years they sit silently, and all of a sudden, without any advertisement, without any disclosure, they launch that movie on an OTT platform. The intention is very clear. Their intention is an agenda. The agenda of pro-Khalistanis, the agenda is a terrorist activities which is happening in 80s and 90s in Punjab. Not even a single word about the pro-Khalistani terrorism in this movie. Why? This is a very big question. Why the victim of terrorism activities has not been put forward in this movie? When you're talking about human rights violation, this is not only about one particular community or one particular people.
Right.
They are not doing so. So whosoever is supporting this movie, I am telling you, this is all above the party line. It is not about BJP, Congress or Aam Aadmi Party or someone else. Khalid, I am on one of the Punjabi channel just before your channel, and I am telling you, I feel ashamed. There are people of political parties of Punjab who didn't accept that the assassination of Bean Singh is a cowardly act and a terrorist activities.
We'll have to leave it there. There's plenty of room for thought, plenty of room for debate, and we'll have to, of course, see how this develops in coming days. Advocate Vineet Jindal, Shashank Shekhar Jha, Mahishinder Singh Grewal, Nikhil Jain, thank you so much for joining us this evening.